Hello, in this video, we're checking out the TRIMUI Smart Pro S. This handheld is an upgrade to the TRIMUI Smart Pro released 2 years ago. It keeps the 4.96-inch LCD screen, 1280 by 720 resolution, and 16 by 9 aspect ratio. The chip is upgraded from the Allwinner A133P to the Allwinner A523, a 22nm chip. It's an octa-core CPU featuring 4 1.8 GHz A55 cores and 4 1.4 GHz A55 cores. There are 2 A523 variants, and TRIMUI employs the 2.0 GHz GPU, a Mali G5M CE211, released in 2023. This is the first time this processor has been used in our open-source handhelds. I found a device using this processor, the AlderCube iPlay 50 Mini Tablet SE, priced around 300 Yen. It can run PSP's God of War, Chains of Olympus at double the resolution, achieving about 40 to 50 frames per second. This means it can play most PSP games well. The device's storage configuration includes 1 GB of LPDDR4RAM. The device features 1 GB of LPDDR4RAM, 8 GB of eMMC external storage, and supports up to a 1 TB TF card expansion. It has a 5000 mAh battery, charging at 5 volts and 2 amps. The screen is fully laminated, offering excellent viewing angles. My unit's backlight bleed is well controlled, with only a minor bleed at the bottom. The customized Linux system is user-friendly and straightforward. I tested it, and after 2 hours of standby in sleep mode, it didn't consume even 1 bar of battery life. Currently, the overseas price is $89, but the domestic price has not yet been revealed. Now let's proceed with a quick unboxing. The one I have here is the newly released yellow color scheme. What rating would you all give this device's appearance? Regarding the interfaces, at the top you'll find the power button, the home button, a peripheral interface, and the volume up and down buttons. There are no interfaces or buttons on either the left or right sides of the device. At the bottom there is a lanyard hole, a multifunctional FN key, what appears to be a decorative cover, followed by the charging port, the reset key, and a TF card slot. There's also a 3.5mm headphone jack and a microphone port. The button's tactile response comes from a design featuring metal dome switches combined with rubber pads. The D-pad, also using metal dome switches, ensures sensitive and responsive triggers, with all buttons characterized by their relatively short key travel, contributing to a precise and immediate feel. The actuation force isn't particularly stiff. This time the joysticks have been upgraded to TMR joysticks, which provide a smooth, consistent resistance, and they also support downward presses. However, the tactile feedback for downward presses seems to vary slightly depending on the direction you push them, which is a minor point to consider. The one on the left is a function key. The one on the right is the dual S key. There are 2 speakers at the bottom, with an indicator light in the middle. The shoulder buttons are operable from any angle, offering a tactile experience you can feel for yourself. The trigger buttons have been upgraded to larger ones, now providing a satisfying micro-switch sensation. This unit features integrated active cooling, with its fan speed being multi-level adjustable. The total measured weight of the device is 250. 8 grams. So, let's take a moment to compare it with some other handheld gaming devices on the market. Up next, we'll dive into some actual game testing. Let's dive into God of War 2, its rival, with 2 times resolution, no frame skipping. There's still some audio crackling present, and the playback speed is not consistently stable. Overall, in this initial scene, it maintains approximately 50 frames per second. You'll be able to see the frame rate displayed in the top right corner. Additionally, you have the option to play the game at 30 frames per second. Personally, I find that enabling 2 times resolution significantly enhances the smoothness of the experience. You can view the frame rate displayed in the top right corner. There's also an option to play at 30 frames per second. However, in my personal opinion, activating the 2x resolution significantly enhances the smoothness of the gameplay and overall responsiveness, making it a much more enjoyable experience. The operational speed is considerably more stable. On the PSP, beyond just God of War, there exists a multitude of other enjoyable games that are not quite as performance intensive. Let's attempt to run this particular title at a 4-fold resolution and observe the outcome. I then proceeded to test several PlayStation 2 titles, many of which can smoothly operate at double or even higher resolutions. The Allwinner A133 processor demonstrates significantly superior performance compared to the A133P 3566 and H700 models. Now let's take a moment to compare the PSP's on-screen performance with that of the actual hardware itself. At this current stage, PSP emulators are quite sophisticated and well developed. Moreover, their operational efficiency when running on Linux significantly exceeds that of Android-based systems. I'll also take a moment to demonstrate some other platforms that don't adhere to a 16:9 aspect ratio. Many of these come with screen masks conveniently pre-configured by default. To thoroughly test, we will now examine the D-pad's input accuracy for combo execution and its directional responsiveness within the game Contra. There are absolutely no issues at all. The D-pad provides a satisfying tactile feedback when performing special moves, though its size is a bit on the smaller side. Despite this minor detail, it performs quite adequately. Linux devices featuring a 16:9 aspect ratio are quite uncommon. Whenever I'm playing games that utilize a 3:2 or 4:3 aspect ratio, I invariably find myself resorting to one of two solutions. Either I apply a masking effect to fill the screen, or I simply have to tolerate the presence of black bars on the sides. Ultimately, the question of whether this particular trade-off is acceptable truly comes down to the individual preference of each user. When playing vertical arcade games, you have the option to rotate the machine onto its side for a different experience. While this might slightly compromise the ergonomic feel in your hands, the visual display remains perfectly acceptable and clear. For both Dreamcast and Sega Saturn games, dedicated standalone emulators were exclusively utilized in this particular instance, ensuring optimal performance. With this chip's performance, 1.5x resolution is quite fluid. Higher might cause frame drops in some scenarios. This time, a home button has been incorporated, enabling you to swiftly access a quick settings menu mid-game. From this menu, you are able to modify settings such as screen brightness, audio levels, and fan speed. Furthermore, the device is preloaded with a multitude of classic console games, and I genuinely believe this device is outstanding for playing these titles, particularly since many of these adapted games were originally designed for 16:9 platforms, making them a perfect fit. I just did a quick test of the game streaming, and frankly, the experience was far from ideal. The chip's performance is likely inadequate, resulting in significant delays. In terms of overall build quality and materials, this device is generally quite good. My only slight concern is that my particular unit has a minor flaw. I sincerely hope that the manufacturer will significantly enhance quality control for the mass-produced versions. Let me give you a final summary. A Linux-based handheld is easier to get into than an Android one. Even though it's a closed-source system now, it's ready to play right out of the box. The whole UI is clean and straightforward, looks nice, and is perfect for beginners. The 5000 mAh battery provides more than enough playtime, and TRIMUI's system has excellent standby time. It's a 16:9 device. This device is well suited for 16:9 platform gaming, and I believe it can handle the majority of those games. The A523 is undeniably a powerful chip within the Linux handheld market, but it still lags behind Android handhelds at a similar price point. As the saying goes, there are no truly bad devices, just unfavorable prices. This screen serves no purpose. Finally, let me leave you with. Here its external speakers. With that, we'll conclude this video. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Allow me to bid you a final farewell with a handshake. Then I will gently withdraw my hand, knowing that from this very moment forward, a profound and deep sense of longing will undoubtedly begin to take root within me, growing stronger with each passing day. Let these deep roots firmly establish themselves, and the vibrant butterfly will consequently find its motionless repose from this point forward.